Hey there guys, how are you all doing? Welcome back to Rule of Two Review. So yes, I know you are not looking at my awesome bearded face right now in this video. And honestly, it's just been a really crazy week. The last couple of days, I've really had not a whole lot of sleep because things have been really busy with work and with music and the band and stuff, and I've had some late nights, and I was like, I just feel like I probably look like garbage. There's no reason for me to get on camera and show you guys my face right now when I could just record some audio and discuss a little bit of what's going on that I'm excited to talk about in today's video, so that's what's gonna happen. So it's been an exciting couple of days because we do all know that a couple of days ago, Nintendo had another Nintendo Direct, a surprise Nintendo Direct as they always are. I've actually kind of realized over the last few months that I really appreciate the fact that Nintendo doesn't really let us know when these things are going to happen. It's like 2 days beforehand, Nintendo's like, hey, a Nintendo Direct is going to happen in 2 days. It's going to talk about these awesome things. Have fun. And I just really love the fact that they kind of do that. I think it's pretty cool. Anyway, they did give us that surprise Nintendo Direct, probably the last time that they're going to address us in a Direct before E3, and it focused almost completely on ARMS, which I'm very excited for. A lot of you know I did have a chance to play ARMS in January when I traveled to New York to attend their kind of, you know, Nintendo Switch reveal event and have a bunch of people go hands-on on it and stuff, and some YouTubers and some other folks. And I really liked the game, and I'm very excited for what's going to happen there, so I thought it was super cool that they were going to be doing an ARMS Direct. And through that, they also, of course, had a really cool reveal at the end where they showed a new single-player trailer for Splatoon 2, which was so fantastic. I am so very excited, and this is all kind of what I want to talk about today. So for the most part, what I kind of want to focus on is Splatoon, because I feel like that's the bigger of the two games. ARMS is, of course, a very big deal because it's a brand new IP for Nintendo, which until until 2 years ago, 2015, we hadn't had a new console IP from Nintendo in a very, very long time. And Splatoon was great. It was a huge hit. It was a great big seller. It reviewed well. Everyone loves the game. Very online focused, you know, shooter sort of centric kind of game, and that's all great. But of course, ARMS is in the unique position to be a brand new IP from Nintendo that's launching within mere months of a brand new console, a new generation that Nintendo has started, and this cool new piece of tech, the Switch, that lets us do all the portable and home console gaming. And for them to come out with a new IP so soon after launching a brand new console, I think is a very, very big deal. And, you know, I could go into the whole diatribes about the fact that the Wii U, as much as I love it, was unfortunately a failure, and they're using the Switch, I think, to kind of correct a lot of the mistakes and course correct them as a company, and how ARMS could help with that, because it's also using, you know, very specific Joy-Con motion controls and all these different things. But when we just boil it down to the bare essentials, it's really cool to see Nintendo doing this, and I am very excited for ARMS. However, Splatoon is randomly more exciting to me, and that is random because I do think Splatoon 1 is fantastic, but I didn't get crazy addicted to it, and I think that there were some very huge fundamental design flaws with that game that prevented me from enjoying it to its fullest, which is, like I said, a shame because I do recognize the game was awesome, and I love the gameplay, I love the style of the game, I love the visual style, I love the kind of, you know, atmosphere and tone they were going for with, like, this sort of kid-related, like, urban setting kind of, you know, splat the hell out of everything with ink sort of thing. I thought that was really cool, but I couldn't get into it for a lot of reasons. And luckily, Nintendo seems to be fixing a lot of those things, so I've only become more and more excited for Splatoon 2 as we move along. Plus, I think it's going to be a great first-year game for the Switch for so many reasons. It's going to be also so online-focused, and there's already a built-in audience, whereas ARMS has an online focus, but it's a new IP that's untested with the Nintendo gamer and with gamers in general. And are people really going to gravitate towards that motion control or not? There's a lot that I could talk about there, which I might actually do pretty soon. So that's a little bit different, but with Splatoon, there already is that proven market, and, you know, I'm a rare case of someone who didn't get crazy addicted to Splatoon. Most people, most of you guys out there, I'm assuming, probably did get very addicted, so everyone's going to be moving to Splatoon and very excited and ready to get going with this game, and Nintendo's going to be able to use this game as a huge reason for people to invest into their online service, and however all the details and pricing for that is going to shake out, Splatoon 2 will be a real heavy hitter for Nintendo's online. Now, bringing it back to the Nintendo Direct, Direct, it was really cool that they spent, you know, that 20 minutes or so detailing ARMS and all of the new characters, the full roster, delving into a few of the new modes and what's going on with the ability to, you know, compare and contrast all your different ARMS combinations and the gameplay styles. It was great that they did that, but I love that at the very end they gave us a brand new random. This was not really planned or talked about, I don't think. It was kind of a surprise. They had this new trailer for Splatoon 2 that, like I said in the beginning of the video, focused primarily on the single-player content and the single-player campaign, quote-unquote, if we want to call it that, which got me excited for a couple of reasons. Mostly because I've been saying for a long time, and if you've been following me on the Juices Loose podcast for any length of time, you've heard me say this as well, I think that Splatoon could really shine as a single-player game and a single-player experience. The first game's campaign taught me that, because it seemed like the genesis of some bigger ideas. And I was like, if they made a game that was honestly not online at all, it was just a huge single-player world that played out like a Mario game, like a 3D Mario game, or like the Mario Galaxy game specifically, I think that they could make a game just like that. Forget the online stuff. Just give me a Mario Galaxy type of game in the Splatoon universe. And I felt that they could build on that for this sequel. And now that we've seen this trailer for the single-player content for Splatoon 2, I feel like I can't yet say that they're going to that level of depth with the single-player campaign, but it obviously does look a lot more fleshed out, a lot more thorough. Like, there's a lot of, you know, brand new, crazy, wacky ideas and things that they're throwing at us in this campaign or story mode or whatever it's going to ultimately be. I know they're calling it the hero mode right now. I don't really like that name, but at the end of the day, it kind of doesn't really matter what you call it. I kind of wish it was just the campaign or just the single-player story. I feel like story mode would be more exciting to me than hero mode, because hero mode to me denotes that it might be something that is a little bit more paper thin on content, whereas a story mode would feel like something a little bit more substantial. Now, they do have Callie sort of, you know, being introduced in the beginning of this and giving us this hint that Callie has broken off with Marie at some point between Splatoon 1 and Splatoon 2. So all of a sudden, it's like, is there like a lore here? Is there a canon happening with Splatoon? I didn't really expect that, but it gets me excited. You know, the context could make this really cool as well. But I really don't expect that to be a huge focus. I just think it's really cool that they seem to be trying to further invest in this idea of a story mode, a single-player campaign mode for Splatoon. It also makes me wonder, with E3 just around the corner, if there might still be some surprises in store for us for Splatoon, and even for ARMS, to tell you the truth. I really think that there could be a great opportunity for Nintendo, with E3 happening just before the launch of these two games, for them to still give us a couple of last-minute surprises. And most of you guys are aware of this. Nintendo did announce that they plan to focus quite heavily on these two games. There is going to even be a tournament for each game for all of the attendees at E3 to participate in, a tournament for ARMS and a tournament for Splatoon 2 to happen right there at the biggest gaming show of the year. I feel like through that it might show that they're very invested in focusing on these games. Of course, Mario Odyssey is going to be their really big push, as it should be. But, I mean, at the very end of the week, I mean, the last day of E3 is June 15th, and the following day, June 16th, if I'm remembering my dates right, I checked it today, is the date that ARMS launches. So they could really take advantage of that week being a huge buffer for ARMS, to be like, here's, you know, you thought you saw it all at the Nintendo Direct last month. Well, here's a bunch of other surprises. Like, maybe there are some characters we still don't know about. Maybe there are some gameplay mechanics we're not aware of. Maybe there are some online and or offline modes that they didn't talk about in the Direct that we can still look forward to. There's probably going to be some amiibo support, by the way, guys. I would be shocked if they didn't have amiibo for some of the different characters, or maybe all of the characters in the game, that give us all sorts of cool surprises for ARMS. I think that there's a huge opportunity there, and I feel like, you know, E3, with the days leading up to the launch of the game, could be a really good opportunity for them to do so. And I mean, hey, I'm all for it, man. Bring on surprises, bring on new content for ARMS. Like I said, I am excited for that game. Splatoon is more unique because it does launch soon after E3, but it's a month later. It's July 21st, if I'm remembering right. Like mid-July, about a month after E3 concludes, is when we have Splatoon 2, the first sequel to their first new IP in a very long time, like I said. Are they also going to use E3 to surprise us there? And yes, I really think we can expect some other information or details or surprises to come out about Splatoon 2 at the show. I don't think they just want to reconfirm, hey, Splatoon 2 is a game, and it's a game that comes out next month, buy and play our game. I think that they're going to discuss Splatoon 2 to a certain degree. I think, yes, there's going to be the tournament, but through that, they're going to have some sort of new information, What that's going to be, I don't yet know. What I'd like to see is final concrete details on exactly how thorough and hopefully expansive the single-player campaign is going to be, what sort of new ideas are happening there. Maybe they announce you can co-op through it or something, which would be freaking awesome, especially if it's split-screen or online co-op. And maybe there's just, you know, more modes. Maybe there's more characters or more customization that they're not really keying us into yet. Maybe there's a whole bunch of options when it comes to getting online and playing that game that they really want to detail at E3 so that they can, again, further use games like Splatoon 2 and ARMS to sell the world and the gamer on their online service. I think that they need to start planting that seed now. I did recently say, I made a big bet about this, a bold prediction, that they will not detail the actual details of their online service, but I don't think that that means they're not still thinking about it and wanting to take their online games like Mario Kart, like Splatoon, like ARMS, and if Call of Duty's coming, which of course isn't Nintendo, but if that's going to come, they want to use these games to say, hey, this is why it's smart for you to invest in our online service. It's the first time we're charging for it. We believe in it. We know it's worth the money. And part of the reason we know it's worth the money is our amazing first-party and third-party games that you can play, such as ARMS and Splatoon, our brand new IPs that you can pay to play for online. And that's why I really expect some pretty neat surprises to come for both of these games at E3. So there you have it. A lot going on with ARMS and a lot going on with Splatoon. Who knows how E3 is going to shape up and what surprises they have for all of their games, including these two. But I really just wanted to discuss the fact that ARMS is going to be great. We already know it. I'll probably make a video talking about it again in another couple days. And Splatoon 2, man, that single-player trailer, it may not really get a lot of people excited, but it super gets me excited. It really does still look like it's ultimately the same thing that the first game's campaign was. And that's a little bit disappointing, but it's still okay, because I loved that campaign. And if we get something that's that same idea, just better and longer and with more content, then I'll be actually really, really satisfied with that. And like I said, I already know that they're improving the online nature by reducing the time rotation for their maps and stuff like that. And I'm hoping to hear that they're doing more with that as well at E3. So next month is going to be great. I thought the ARMS Direct was awesome. I think Splatoon 2 is going to be fantastic. And I want to hear what you guys have to say. What do you think about the single-player trailer for Splatoon 2? What do you think about ARMS through the Direct? And what do you think about E3 possibly having surprises for these games? I really think we're going to see some cool stuff next month. So tell me what you guys think. Thanks, of course, as always, for tuning in. This is Rob of Realty Review, and I will catch you guys next time on another video.